And hey, everybody, what's the date today? My stars, it's the 25th of June. Wow. Wow. I'm just going to start in our check-ins. All right. First of all, but one thing I did not do, and I was getting pretty good at this, is asking somebody to offer a centering blessing. And I can either invite some silence, or I can invite somebody here, whoever is feeling called. And if you speak up right away, I'll know that that's you. If not, why don't we take a moment and a common breath, unless somebody would like to do it for me. Sounds like I'm doing it. All right. Why don't we just put our feet on the floor, flat on the floor, unless you're driving or you're short and your feet don't reach, whatever your reason for not hitting the floor. But if you can plug your 2 feet in like the bottom of an electric cord that's plugging into Mother Earth, and you are going to take a breath first, unlike an electric cord, more like a depository. And breathe in and use your stomach muscles to push down all that isn't working to you and give it to Mother Earth. She loves all that juicy stuff because it works as compost for her. And we don't need it. It's waste for us. Now take a breath coming back up, rising your pelvic floor, just pulling up all the energy up through your pelvic floor, up through your spine, up into your shoulders, up to the crown. Take a deep breath and release it out the top of your head. And let's do that one more time, breathing in from the bottoms of our feet, feeling Mother's energy, pulling us up from the pelvic floor. Pulling up. Ah. And let's all exhale with a ah. And one more time, and up the top of our head, and then we'll come back together. Up. Shoulders back. Breathing out the top of our head. Ah, there's our cosmic cleanse. Thank you. That was fun. Okay, I'll start with my check-in now. Okay, so wow, it's been a crazy month, and I'm just going to direct it all to Nancy, because Nancy has been my guide throughout this month so far, and we're not done yet, through her Moonlighting with Your Higher Self workshop. And holy moon, I love your workshop, Nancy. Your clarity and your heart and your wisdom on the cycles of the moon, and the modalities and the methodologies and right? It's simple, but and I found my mudra. I created a sistral, right? Sundial.
Sigil.
I knew that wasn't.
I call them sundrels because I made them moonruns.
That's it. I actually went off and did a sundrel for my book, which is really cool, which you have to wait to hear about. And also the regular practices. Stuff is manifesting. All the stuff you're going to see today has been mucked up for about a year. And Pleasance, if you're listening, Pleasance kind of opened it up for me personally. Then Nancy, you showed up. Maureen, you showed up. Michelina, you showed up. Morgana, you are here in the moment. All of you have helped me personally in where I'm at, which of course helps Sarah, because we're right now interchangeable, as we have been. She's a limb of mine. And yet, I know it's time for her to find new leadership. So we're starting that journey. I don't know how long it's going to take. It could take years, but it's not up to me. It's up to spirit and what happens in this process, and I'm fully unattached to that. But I know the next generation is coming. So for me, I'm here in my daughter's home. Whoops, I'm cut off my head. I'm in my daughter's home. I'm playing with my 10-month-old grandson, which I need to say no more. We've been dancing and laughing. I don't think I've laughed harder. I know he hasn't yet. And we're just having a ball. And I sat with Grandmother Ocean yesterday. I'm sorry, this is such a long check-in. I sat with Grandmother Ocean. I gave her an offering. She gave me back some blessings. It's good. And so thank you to all my guides. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm complete. Maureen, you were here next. And sorry I went on and on.
You didn't go on and on. You can keep going and I'd be like totally enthralled. But anyway, so I've been having an interesting couple of weeks. It's been really exciting. Lots of stuff going on for me. Totally getting all kinds of great stuff from Nancy's workshop, I have to say. I just absolutely love it. And it's just like, and then what's hard for me is sometimes is like I'm paying attention and I'm getting these downloads that connect with what she's saying, and I'm like, can't you just wait? I'm trying to pay attention. But no, I don't really say that, but I feel like that's a couple of times that's happened, and I'm like, I can get the downloads later. I need to hear this. And it's just been so exciting. It's been opening things up, and I'm in this other group coaching training thing, and experiencing some really healing energy and what it's like coming together as a group for one particular person and stuff like that, and all kinds of other exciting things going on. And last night, to sort of complete it, and it ties in with the moon, of course. It was the full moon, plus I'm always aware, especially during the full and new moons, but I'm more aware than usual because of what I've been learning. And last night I went to Misa's full moon healing water ceremony that I've been going to almost every month for almost a year now. And it was just during the holding meditation part of the ceremony, I was able to release some of that self-doubt that's been holding me back. So it's just really been exciting. I guess that's my check-in. So
That's you, Nancy. Oh, yeah, Nancy.
Well, we could take a moment for both hold some space for a moment for Sandy and Maureen, since David brought this new pausing for, well, hang on a second.
I'm sorry, when the boss comes in, we have to say hello. Hi, say hi to all his people, please. You're all those sunny faces. Good morning.
Oh, so precious.
That's my first morning kiss, so.
Oh, well, that is a wonderful gift.
And here's my first baby. Hi.
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 Okay, bye. Thanks for coming in. Bubby loves you. Okay, sorry about the interruption. No, I'm not sorry about that interruption. That was a good one. That's the president. Bye. That's the CEO of our heart.
That's okay. The CEO. Anyway, I was thinking that since David had brought us into having that, taking a moment, and we kind of moved really quickly from Sandy, who had some beautiful things to share, and then Maureen had some beautiful things to share. Before I start, I'd like to just take a moment, just do what David taught us to do.
Yes, of course. Let's pulse. Thank you.
have to say that feels really nice to do. I really like that because it's just kind of taking in and just being able to honor the good stuff and the things that you have going on. And yeah, I just think that's really lovely. And I'm so glad David shared that with us last time. So sometimes you have to know it's okay to like just pause and appreciate and honor one another. I don't have much to say. Have been feeling so wonderfully blessed. I'm just in love with my workshop. I'm in love with everybody in there, and I get the most amazing emails every day from one moonlighter or another, and just how excited they are and sharing their progress or asking for a little extra nudge or assistance. And so it's just quite beautiful. It's just has lit up my life in a whole other way. And some of my clients this week have made such amazing progress on their own personal journeys. And, I just kind of get to sit there like proud mama and just go, because, I make my clients work really hard. But it's their personal journey, right? So it's the one it's the one that's worth putting all the work in for. So I've just felt so wonderfully blessed, and I don't know what it is, but I just feel my heart is so wonderfully full, and I have so much of it to just, I want it so much that I just want to share it. So I've just been feeling like that Care Bear, just going and just beaming it everywhere because it just got too full. It's too full sometimes feeling. And so it just feels really good to just put all that out there to the collective, and I just want to share it and share it and share in this because it's beautiful. It's beautiful to feel. So anyway, that's really all I have to say.
Well, let's take some time to pulse with Nancy. I can feel it revving up my heart. Okay, I'll hold the space. Thanks for sharing, Nancy. And thank you for reminding us of the pulsing. I get a little spun out when I get excited. So I'm so glad you remembered that. Nicolina.
Okay, hello,
Hi.
everyone. Before we start, I found this little prayer and I just sort of felt moved to share it with all of us because I just sort of, I felt that this was very much in alignment with what we're all doing here. So if you allow me to, I will honor to share this with you. God is but love, and therefore so am I. I will step back and let him lead the way. God is but love, and therefore so am I. I walk with God in perfect holiness. God is but love, and therefore so are we. So, maybe just thank you. Thank you. And he's leading us. I feel that's the Holy Spirit is leading this group, all of us, each and every one of us, to be here together and guiding us to where this Sarah is going to continue and grow. But he's leading the way. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Oh.
I'll give you a quick update. My youngest son this past weekend, as I say, my baby is not really a baby anymore. He turned 21, which is like 21. I'm like, whoa. hard to believe that he was babied. Yeah, I really did baby him, but and I can clearly admit to that. You know, but so it's quite something for him to be 21, and he has such a big heart. I am so proud of the man that he has become. I have two sons, and always proud of their accomplishments, but the thing I'm most proud is about the men that they are becoming and have become. So we just the three of us. My eldest son planned a great time out. We went out. He had his first official drink. Was I'm like, wait a minute. It takes a while for a mother to kind of like, oh, he's 21 now. Anyways, I was feeling it. Never mind, he was fine with it. So with my first, I was excited that he turned 21 with this one. So, but it's a beautiful blessing in life. The other update is that we had our first online in-person mind, body, spirit class this week for Spirit Moves. The church allowed us to come back, and they gave us a space for free. It was we had not had an we've been doing it virtually, and so to be there back in that same room to think about and reflect about a year and a half or a bit more ago, where we really didn't know where all this was going. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know what was going to, and just to think back and reflect about all that time. And also now here we are. Now the class is limited to 10 at a time. Usually we have 30 to 40, which is a large group. But it was so surreal to be there. And we gave each other a hug. Now there was we decided no online, no hands-on alignment or things like that. But it was quite surreal to be in that space again with everybody. And to know, no distance, no time is never separates. I even with this group, we're all joined. We're all joined by one, and that's what we feel. Even if we don't know each other personally, there's always that connection through the heart. So it was quite surreal to be there in person, and it was almost like I was there, but I was like kind of looking down. It was kind of one of those experiences, and just getting back to doing those in live classes. So, but it's certainly a blessing to be able to do that. So that's my update. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's all take a moment before we say hello to David. Well, let's say hello to David, and then let's pulse. Let's I'll hold space for that pulsing.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you, Michelina. Thank you for that beautiful check-in and that beautiful prayer. And if you'll send it to me, I would love to send it out.
Thank you. I will do that, Sandy.
Yeah. We know Morgana, who would be next, is actually doing double duty. She's on 2 calls. So I'm going to guess that if her mic is not on and her camera's not on, she's not ready to check in or be with us. She said she'll be with us later. It's okay if she can't. We're just grateful her presence is here. So let's say hello to David. David, we are doing check-ins. You'll have to watch the recording to catch up. Welcome. Welcome, David.
Thank you so very much, Sandy. Everyone, hi, good to see you all. Thank you.
Is that your check-in, David? Would you like to tell us how things are going maybe later in the program when we get to those specific items? Or is there anything personally you'd like to check in on? How is Patience and Judy?
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to check in, and I'll say that I'll begin by the past General Congress of Women that we had. And it was really very, very good and very also personally detached us so much. When we went to breakout groups, we had the opportunity to share some of the things that we are in or at a personal level with the group members. And what I shared is that at that time, Judy was really very sick, and I had come to that General Congress of Women on the topic of women and healing, specifically for her. That day, I had dedicated really for her, and I'm happy to share with you all that the energy that was flowing, somehow it also got into her, and now she's up and well and happy. And this is, one of the magical things I'm seeing in Sarah and all Sarah programs, because the speakers were so much the issue of the water that we were given by Misa, and also Grandmother Mona, and how everything is water around us and in us is water, and the potent power of water. So I took that so deeply in me, and it worked miracles for Judy as well. She's has sent me with greetings of love to you all. And Patience also is good and happy, but she's away. She was visiting a neighbor, so she won't be joining us today. But they are all okay and healthy, and we thank God for that. I am really very, very, very much appreciative of the General Congress of Women. Other than that, probably on reporting about the activities and programs, maybe Sunday you have planned for such a time for each of the ambassadors, so that can hold on for now. I just wanted to say that the Healing Women and Healing General Congress of Women really did healing to Judy. Thank you all.
Oh, wow. Thank you, David. Well, let's just send our love and blessings and greetings back to Judy and our gratitude for her perfect health, which we know is always perfect. And let's pulse for David. I'll hold space. And maybe also take the thank you, David. That was beautiful. Good, uplifting, as all of these check-ins are. I just love these calls. I really do. And so much clarity is happening right now that I can't wait to share. But let's maybe take a moment right now to send our love and our blessings to this new little one that's on its way into the world, if not already have arrived, holding Sarah and her husband and Gabrielle and this new little angel who is with us in our prayers and for welcome and new life and Mazel Tov and L'chaim to life. And yeah, let's take a moment and send them some love darts. So it is. Ah, okay. I tell you, I'm just overwhelmed and a little giddy, and to the point where Nancy had to remind us about pulsing, David. So I'm going to confess right now. You'll see in the recording. Maureen and I are both cut from the same jib. We both get a little fire in our belly, and we just can't wait to get it out. And sometimes can't speak for Maureen, but I often will skip over important stuff. So I'm going to slow my roll here because I have a lot of great stuff to share with you. So some of the stuff that's come up, and I really believe this, at the new moon and the process between the new moon and today has made all of this manifest. My awareness, the awareness of my cohorts, Anne and Laura Saw and Rootsie from our board, who hopefully you will be meeting very shortly. It's not intentional that they haven't been able to get together. We just haven't. We can't get everybody. So I think I'm just going to open up and say anybody who wants to come at any time from our leadership should come. But when you see what's transpired here in what I'm actually looking at, and I'm going to share with you now, is the roles of Sarah. So not only is the time or term limits way up on our legal board requirements through the United States government to uphold our 501c3, which we are in good standing, yet we do have organizational documents that are not necessarily really enforceable, but we commit our absolute highest intention to enforce them and or to hold them dear. I don't like the word enforcing. And those are 2-year term limits. So I have been in the role of the presidency for not all of the 18, soon to be 19 years of Sarah, because we haven't been a 501c3 that long. But since we've been a 501c3, I have been the president. So while I'm not going to abandon a presidency role, I am looking for a vice president, and we do need a treasurer, and we do need a formal secretary to revolve into that role, those roles. And and those we would like to filter up from our other levels of leadership. And so I'm going to show that to you, what that leadership looks like. Another, and many of the things that I sent you on the agenda will be covered here. And then David, just for your information, I have images of the bags ready to show too for discussion. And I'm gonna do my best to show those in a good way. I just okay, here we go, share screen. All right, so here is the document. Let me go ahead. And so I mentioned the executive, so the vice president will kind of be a mentor role into the presidency. If not, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it would be a good place. Secretary and treasurer. All committees, including the executive committee, will serve in a working capacity unless there are a couple of exceptions. There are 2 exceptions, in fact. So our programs, which we have formally identified, are right here. The areas, let me make this bigger. The areas that you are looking at here under programs, Caring for Creation, General Congress of Women, Wholeness and Wellbeing, all of these down here with the asterisks. These are areas that we, with the exception of the 20-year anniversary, which we couldn't have been dealing with much because it's only coming upon us now, but these are programs that have kind of been scattered. They haven't, but they really deserve full attention, full commitment. And so we're developing, our vision is to develop committees around these particular areas. So there's a dedicated force of energy from a committee coming here. And we'll talk about cross-pollination of different committees and of different levels of leadership, et cetera. But envision, if you will, and help me visualize the active working groups in addressing Caring for Creation, which is currently on our website and definitely needs care. That's the environment. And right now we are also addressing Indigenous knowledge, Indigenous justice, indigenous programming through Caring for Creation, but that really here deserves its own category, its own committee. The General Congress of Women, you all know of that. And that does also, that's got a really strong working committee, obviously, around it right now. It could use some more support and help. But really, it's not our most pressing. Wholeness and well-being programs, including the Bubble Bath for the Soul monthly calls, that is really coming up. Maureen alone has brought us, including today with the conversation she and I had before this call, another area that we could bring in experts in the field of healing, doing programs, providing resources, and really do a lot more around wholeness and well-being programs, because we know that just like the oxygen mask, when you get on an airplane, we all need to be caring for ourselves, and this really deserves to have a healthy heart. And we need to know about being whole and well-being and having well-being. A young leaders program. I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to circle back up to that. Storytelling and blog management. Now, this is really interesting because Maureen has been really great about editing and things like that. And so Maureen, this might be, you can be everywhere. I know you're passionate about so much. So I'm trying not to spread you out too thin, but to know that I think that this really does deserve a committee, because storytelling is so essential, right? Not just written word, but videos. I would love to see, and this is also would be a great place for intergenerational conversations. I know Sarah, that was one of the first things she and I spoke about. Pleasance brought it up too. Conversations between elders and young ones, as well as young women and men, as well as little ones as well. So that could be all handled under storytelling, but it's also part of the blog too, because we could do a lot through the blog platform. I already mentioned Indigenous knowledge, but the Alliance and programming is really exciting. I'm going to circle back to that too. I didn't think this through very well when I created this list, but I'm going to come back to the Alliance program. That's exciting and that's news. And our children. Betty Draper, hold on. Yes, David. Go ahead, now's a good time if you have a question now.
Sorry for interrupting, Sandy. It's Judy. Judy has just come out because I'm attending while outside, and she just wants to wave.
Oh, well, stop and say hello to Judy. Oh, and here's Morgana. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Judy.
I'm fine.
How are you? Welcome. I'm so glad we can see your face and hear your voice. You look beautiful. Yeah, you look great.
Thanks.
Very nice. I'm so glad you could join us.
Yeah, she just wanted to say hi. She won't be able to, stay for long or talk much. But
Okay.
Sunday, I'll reach out to you and give you more details.
Okay, very good.
Later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I see Morgana's with us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we know you were doing double duty.
I'm still multi-zooming here. And I will try and get back to it as soon as possible. It's been great seeing Maureen at the Unity Earth Week. So we'll have a discussion about that later. So if you want to include me, I'll let you know when I'm actually available, okay?
You're
But I'm
fine.
still in the middle.
You're perfect. You're perfect. This is recorded. You can, so don't worry about one thing. Not even.
Okay, so I'll turn off my camera now and then I'll let you know as soon as I'm back, okay?
You got it. Okay, good. All right. Well, that was a worthy interruption. I'm so glad. Thank you. And David, thank you so much. And Judy, welcome. We're talking about our programs and our governance structure now. And then Morgana, if you can hear us, we'll save your check-in for the very end, or if you can join us at all. So you'll have your opportunity. And David, for what it's worth, this isn't our first interruption of the day. The official president of my family, my grandson, had an appearance earlier too. So we always stop for the most important ones, right? And we'll, so absolutely. Okay, so where were we? We were talking about our children, and our Betty Draper, whom you will meet eventually. She's a longtime Sarah board member and advisory council member, and just a remarkable woman. The most generous and kind heart. I can't wait for you to know her. She is really wanting to do programming, I can't imagine any of us disagreeing with her, on child trafficking. So our children, child trafficking, child hunger, child injustice, education for girls, protection and safety of girls, girls' hygienic health, anything about the girl child or girl and boy child is really deserving. As a matter of fact, I would argue that maybe it's the most deserving thing we could do is protect our children, right? And it really needs, and I use that word generously. It wants me to reload my site. Change this or made no. Stop, sorry. It's nothing pressed. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see what keeps flashing up on my screen. Our children is something that we really want to address and create a strong committee about. And that's very action oriented. That's going to take, commitment. And as we hope, of course, all of these would take commitment, but that's doing the heavy lifting. And I skimmed right, and then our 20-year anniversary is coming up. That is, wow, how could we not do something? This shall be the opportunity for us to not only do a big gala, a big conference, and of course, a great big fundraiser for Sarah. We might even make our annual budget through our anniversary committee. We did we learned some lessons from our 10-year anniversary, which was, of course, an in-person anniversary. Of course, we were a different profile then. We were very localized. We did a really beautiful program, and it's just amazing. But and we did raise about $10,000 or $15,000, which our lesson learned was we were like $5 profit after we were done with everything. So we learned our lesson, but we're thinking about doing this as an in-person hybrid Zoom. We're just going to pay attention and be careful with where we're at as a world. Who knows? We're going to expect that everybody will be able to travel. It would be great to do fundraising to get people here. But we're thinking about doing it in Las Vegas if we do the in-person part here, because number one, it's a really easy and affordable place to fly into. It's a really affordable place to stay. I have access to all kinds of facilities in a very pretty area that's serene. So it could be very meditative as well as have ample space for everybody. So that's why we're thinking about a conference here, but also make it a hybrid online conference. So, and summit. And so that deserves a committee, obviously, a dedicated committee, and something we want to start about a year in advance on. And that would be August of 22. Our wisdom series we need commitment around our wisdom series, which requires help in managing all the little intricacies of that. Now, Nancy's wisdom workshop was self-contained. I mean, she has done everything. She's created She's created the collateral, if you want, for lack of a better word, all the materials, even the Zoom line. So all we have done is support her by promoting it and putting it into our series to get attention, and yeah, and just showing up for her and holding space behind the scenes, but really nominal. But it can also be very much, a whole lot more than that. Like Michelina's was much more involved in doing all of the technical things, the whole package, right? And learned a lot from that process also, and and it was just a beautiful experience with Michelina. And then our operations. This is really where the rubber hits the road. This is really where I personally need a lot of support, technical support, video editing, website, which is right now we're on Wix. We'd like to navigate off of that, and events setup, Eventbrite or Wix. And I haven't forgotten about the things I said I'll come back to. The Alliance Partner is one of them. The fundraising and Network for Good could also fall under technical support. The Network for Good could also fall under technical support, because that requires some time to set that up. But Network for Good is, right now I'm grandmother Flor de Mayo's daughter, Heather, and I are very good friends. And she has kind of been the guinea pig for Network for Good. Oh, David's coming back in. She's been sort of the guinea pig for Network for Good. She's been working with them, and she and I just had a conversation last night, and she said it was so worth the trouble it took to set up Network for Good. Our donations have doubled, or increased. I don't remember if she said doubled, but they've greatly increased. And it's helped her in so many ways. It's automated so much. So and I've been looking for about a year for a really good platform. So it looks like Network for Good is where we're going, but I can't do it alone and do all these other things. So that's where this operations is really important. And then the finance too, managing finance, which is also part of Network for Good. So some of these hybrid together. Our ambassadors, well, you guys know the drill on the ambassadors. And what we want, and this is what comes clear for me after every one of our calls, is that this is a space for not only for this sort of stuff, for helping to, input on where we are in programming, opportunities for showing up, hearing what you're doing in your community, which supports us, this relationship that you've come to know who we are. But what happens in our check-ins, the time we take, the space we give for one another, love that circulates, right? And more than circulates, it twists and bends and is a bonding agent. Has that? It's not even a single thread. It's a bonding agent that creates maybe even a personal healing. I can say for myself, I've heard it. We heard it today, or permissions, oh, I could do that, and I, by the way, say that to myself, I can do hard things, which Michelina reminded me of in our Love Yourself workshop. Any rate, so we want everybody, we want this to be a place for all of our leadership to come. But you as an ambassador who have signed up as an ambassador, you may choose not to serve on any one of these committees. That's okay, because you're doing your work. But if something here calls for it to you, or maybe you're already doing it like Maureen is, or David is with the General Congress of Women. Not officially on the committee, but already you're actively living it out in the world. You are not asked to do this. This is an open invitation for you, but that's the difference. The difference is this ambassador place doesn't change when everything else changes, but others may. We would love everybody to become an ambassador, right? Who is active. right? But you existing ambassadors or someone who chooses to be only an ambassador, you needn't partake in any of those other committees. But if you are going to be on if you are going to be on a board, and if you are going to be on any other committee other than the next two, then you are asked to be in a working capacity. I don't like the word working, engaged capacity. That's what you're signing up for. The Global Council of Women, this is actually not worded right. This should be the council, the global wisdom, oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is the global, sorry, Council of Women. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Council of Wisdom. That's what we're terming this, the Global Council of Women. And these are thought leaders or exemplary women in their fields that we identify as you may also identify them, but we in leadership identify them as those who are lending their wisdom to us in other capacities. We don't expect them to come onto committees. We don't expect them to give any time. They're women like Vidana Shiva. They're women like Rian Eisler, who I jumped ahead, and she's already accepted the Global Council of Women posting. Because what that does is it shows the world that we are in our integrity when we are promoting their values, and that they endorse us, they support us, they're willing to put their name on us, but they needn't show up. Corinna Gore, perhaps, Annalie, who was the name you were thinking of earlier. She's an ambassador. She in her own right can also be a Global Council of Wisdom, Sister Annalie. I beg your pardon, there are actually three. So that's the Global Council of Wisdom. And then the Emeritus Leadership. Those are, if you say, I don't have any more time for Sarah in my life, well, we don't just let you go. We're going to put you on the Emeritus Leadership Council. So you you're welcome to come to things if you'd like to. You're welcome to continue getting the information and be informed. But you've moved on, and we honor you, right? We don't just close the door behind you. And then the Celestial Council. Well, those are people women who have, or men now in this case, who have died, who their bodies have completed their journey here, yet they're guiding us from an ancestral realm now. And because we consider them family, they are ancestors to us. So we actually do have, a number of stars looking down upon us that are our ancestors. So let me see, I know I said, let me make sure I came back to, the young leaders. All right, so Morgana and I were on a call, it's all a blur, but Wednesday, and with meaningful engagement of youth leadership, or something like that was the title. And it was put on by the United Religions Initiative. And it was a panel of power-packed young people, millennials, who were just saying, this is one statement that I wrote down, and I'm going to make a meme after it, making sure I get her permission. But what I heard was, either bring us to the table or we'll bring our own table. And right, Morgana, Maureen, were you on that call? No, I thought you might have been. So it was very clear that young people need to be engaged, not just entertained, not just for the sake of having a young person, what I'm saying? So, just for optics. No, we definitely want to hear them and allow them to lead and get out of their way. Most of the chats that were going on from us a certain age were like, we need to get out of your way. We're going to get out of your way. Tell them to get out of your way. That was sort of, and I was probably 3 of those chats. So, I am committed personally to seeing young people in the role, many of the roles that you have seen. Committees can be multiple people. So, but I am committed to having at least one young person in those committees and in executive leadership as well. At least a fair percentage. So that is really important. And also let them decide if there were to be a leadership program, what would that look like? I'm not going to tell them. I think this is an opportunity for them to tell us, what do they want to see a network like SARA hold space for? And that's what Young Leaders Programming is about. Did I cover everything? And I'm sorry if I didn't if I overwhelmed you, but yeah, so we are, the Alliance partners. Okay, very fun. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so this is something that the Shift Network does really well. We have done it internally when we do our red tent. In our very first red tent workshop, we assigned to the 4 of us teachers as a way of compensation or augmenting our compensation for the workshop, because we were providing the workshop, was we each had our own unique login code, and that login code told us on the back end where that registration came from. So, so Joan, for example, she brought to the call, out of the 19 women, she brought like 6 women to the call. So she got an extra percentage on the 6, besides how we decided to divvy up our presenter fees. So, so that's what we're doing. This is what the Shift Network does. They provide all the collateral, all a cut and paste, everything ready to go, right? Here's a paragraph how to promote us. Here's an email paragraph. Here's here's some Twitter post. Here's some Instagram posts. Here's some Facebook posts. Here's our hashtags we want you to use, and use add your own. Make it really easy. Here are our flyers. Here's a direct link. Just everything you need to do to click and paste. The caveat is we want those who are in the capacity for promoting us to be what the Shift Network does is you have to have 2,500 or more participants, I think, subscribers. They want to make sure you're sustainable organization and that you're going to hit far and wide enough for them to justify giving you money. So when we promote a workshop for the Shift Network, we make anywhere from $60 to a couple $100, which is, pretty healthy for a little grassroots organization, right? It pays some bills. So that's what we're doing. It's called they call it an affiliate program. We're calling it an alliance program because it's in our name. And that's what we're about, is alliances. So that's what the alliance program is. And actually Misa was the one who asked if there was a way that we could collaborate and cross fund. So she's going to be a lot more, she's going to be making a lot more money on our workshops than we can on hers, because she has like 20,000 subscribers. But Nancy, that would include your workshops. That includes our wisdom series, our General Congress of Women, programming that we do. Moving on, for example, whatever other programming we're going to embrace. So they're going to help us. They agree to support us in that way and make some money on it. Okay, so I'm going to stop before I get into the bags conversation. So, and to take a drink of water or a cup of coffee and hear if you guys have any questions or ideas or input. Yeah, Maureen.
Couple things. One question, quick question, and then I have another question. Is Misa going to be one of those other people that you mentioned too, that are like, they're not necessarily integrated in the leadership of SARA, but are part of that, like you mentioned, Rianne Eisler?
Oh, the Global Council of Women of Wisdom?
Yeah, Yeah.
We certainly would take her name as a candidate by all means. That's what we want you to do. She would be a great candidate by all
Yeah.
means. Yeah.
Yeah, and the question I have too is now you were showing us all of the different things. Some of the stuff that I've already started, poking my fingers in, as you've mentioned, but I'm getting like all these little stirrings of like where I want to get more involved, how some of the things overlap, and I could do some of that with the overlapping. Do you want us to spend time and think on that and contact you and explain to you in an email or something what we want to do? Is that kind of what you're wanting
Yeah,
to do?
well, thank you. So what I would invite you to do, and I'm going to send you what you just saw. I would invite you to take a look at that, dream on it, pray on it, decide what tickles your fancy. And also if you'd like to chair the committee, right? I can serve on the committee, but I can't chair it. But I can chair it is good, really great. Because ultimately, that's the big nut, is to once you get that energy, and by the way, chairing it doesn't mean doing all the work. It just means making sure everyone has the email to show up. By the way, we'll strategize on the calendar when you can use Zoom for your gatherings, your meetings. Yeah, so you're just sort of holding space, but it doesn't mean doing all the work. So thank you. Great question. Good. You ready to go shopping? All right. So David, which I would love for you to also, let me show this to you first. I don't know a better way of showing this to you than, oh gosh, I keep getting this thing that wants me to reload the site. So I'm just going to say yes, because I don't need to show it to you anymore. But I'm going to go ahead and see how I can show these bags to you in a good way. So, because they're not all in one place. Let me see if this is going to. I don't want to show just one thing. I want to show my whole screen. I think this is it. Forgive me if I'm going to show you too much. Oh, please try again. Let's see. Sorry, you guys, bear with me 1 second. Okay. Close that. So that's not a thing. Oops. Well, let's see if this works. So David, here we go. So it's saying it's failing to let me, oh, there we go. Okay. Are you seeing, what are you seeing on your screen right now? One bag? Okay. So David, yeah. So, oh, you are. Okay. So David, and there's more I'm going to show you. David sent me a bunch of really beautiful bags these are handmade by women. And David, would you like to introduce these bags while I'm going to kind of scroll through them? I'm going to have to bring you back, I'm sorry, I don't know a better way of doing this, but David, would you like to explain where these bags come from?
Okay. Thank you so very much, Sandy.
Oh, and
everyone else.
Yeah. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sandy, and first, may I begin by maybe asking, you may have missed my email. You had asked me for a bluff for this. Yeah. An introduction about this. So I shared. I don't know how that would have happened, because sometimes technicalities. I will begin by saying that the introduction is such that we form women groups around the communities we work with. And one of the programs that, apart from the school programs that I have shared with those who we have talked previously, we have a Women Economic Empowerment Program. We call it YWEE, Youth and Women Economic Empowerment Program. And in this program, we take women through a training. These youth and women through a specific training in an area of their interest. So we pull them together, and like this one, the basket that you just saw is through the weaving section. They come and weave. We get them the raw materials, but we have to take them through a training. So why do we do this? First of all, is that this is a lifeline for many of the women. The baskets you see there means so much to these women because they spend time on it, and they expect, some of them will expect till one sells. That's when they are able probably to get some food, sometimes to get some, school fees for their children. So we sell them locally. This is the first time that we have sold them internationally, apart from our neighboring countries, because we have been connecting them to markets in Uganda and Tanzania and Rwanda. Those are the three countries that we have so far managed, but the farthest now we have reached is the first bunch we sent to Sunday. So we as we connect them to international markets, the message is that it's really not the basket we are after selling, though the bottom line is the money, but we are selling, we are sharing the love we have in us about supporting these communities. Because sometimes we will see, if we consider in terms of the monetary value of the basket, it may be so much compared to the basket itself. But when we write to people we are sharing them with, we tell them, you're sharing your love with our community in need, with our women in need. By so doing, three main things that we are helping these women with. First, we are giving them a lifeline, a source of economic livelihood to empower them, be able to put some, food on the table and take care of their children. Number two, we are giving these women some form of independence from many other issues like gender-based violence, because you realize that most women would depend on what the husband brings home. So those are even lucky when they have someone who is working with them to support their families. There are those widows. We have widows, we have elderly women, and they are all alone. And we also have the young mothers, teenage mothers who have probably, dropped out of school because of child pregnancy or any other reason like, lack of school fees, etc. And they find themselves, being children who have children to take care of. They are young mothers. These mothers sometimes will need a skill so that they can be able to push on with life. That is the second thing and most important that we are giving these young mothers, the widows, and the elderly women. And the third thing that we are giving these women is a space where they have voice. Like when we were doing the Sarah proclamation last time, and we said giving voice to the voiceless. So this is the voice we are giving these women, because now when they have some however little form of economic independence, then they can be able to understand their rights. Because in the training, we also teach them about their rights, because women's rights are human rights. That's the slogan that we adopt, and it is an international slogan, that women's rights are human rights, irrespective of whether they are single, whether they are elderly, whether they are widowed, or their young mothers. So we give them voice, and we feel, really very proud that they can be able to interact in their communities. They can be able to contribute even, 50 cents in a function which they have earned on their own without necessarily having to ask. There's a time I remember sharing and saying that particularly during this COVID-19, we have had some girls who were forced, to sell their bodies to do transactional sex for food. This is, really very serious and something that really needs attention. And every time we come across such scenarios, we feel so saddened in our hearts. So this program is basically about those three main items, about the women and the girls that we are working with. So sometimes we say, we really like not selling, but if someone can take as a gift and give as a gift to these women, then you're giving these women a very big chance in their lives. So that would be my brief introduction about the Bag Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, David, and thank you for your noble, courageous, important, critical work. And it's very thoughtful. Does anybody have any comments before I share mine and kind of some ideas that we're going to do with the bags based on what David said? Any thoughts or anything? I don't have to do all the talking here. Okay. Yeah, Maureen.
I just have a question. Is it just the bags and the bowls, or is there is it anything like if some women, I've seen other programs that support like women in India who make bracelets out of little beads and stuff. And so is there a program? So is it just bags and those bowls that we saw, or in that program, if women know how to make like bracelets or other types of jewelry, do they do that? And could that be incorporated as part of the entire initiative? Is whatever talents the women have to teach them how to use it as a way to support their family?
Yeah, if I may respond to that, and thank you so very much, Maureen, for the comment. They make quite a number of things. This was just one item we sent to Sunday to show our friends out there. But they make a number of things, including beads, including bracelets, like you can see I'm displaying, on my hand. This is one of what.
Oh, David, I can't see. Bring your phone. Yeah, a little bit closer. There you go. Your background is good. There we go.
Yeah. And it has. You see, this is the emblem of the country.
Yes.
This is our flag. These are our flag colors. So they even make necklaces, quite a number of things. But in this program, again, Maureen, I would say we are also open, to learn more from your end, what other people are doing in other parts of the world. So we invite all of you and other friends out there to share ideas with us, and we collaborate. So both ways for these women. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maureen. I have to just tell you, we're on a call, Morgana and I were on a call with that youth call I was telling you about. And I think it's Wambui, I believe it was, who is in Kenya, who I'm going to be introducing you to. I think maybe she's in Nairobi. I mean, Nigeria. I'm not positive. But I think she might be in Kenya. But she was wearing a bracelet like that, and it caught my eye so much that I tried to capture her to get a screenshot of it. It's the silliest thing, but if you look very closely, it's a Sarah heart. It's hard to tell, but it was a Sarah heart on her wrist. And I mean, isn't that silly? I just stop and take a screenshot of it. And I wrote her and I go, in the text, I go, look at the heart behind me. And now look at your bracelet. And she's like, yes, it's laid over the flag. So she has one of those bracelets that's very similar, but with a heart. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that little sidebar and little silly something that reminded me, because it looks very similar.
And also, please, just to add a little bit, the other key item that these women are making are reusable sanitary pads.
Right.
This, reusable, because not many of them are able to buy the commercial ones every now and then, but the reusable ones are really being very effective for them in their homes, for their daughters, and also for the small scale neighborhoods. We have not been able to do on large scale, but we have plans underway about how we can also raise funds to do this in a bigger way, because it's quite very, very effective, and also a very reliable and sustainable source of income for them.
Yeah, and Michelina, before you make your comment, and of course, thank you. You don't have to raise your hand; you can just unmute. But thank you, everyone's so polite. Please, but let me just say real quick, and Jeffrey, who may be listening to this call, his work is largely also very complementary to what you're doing, very similar in Malawi, and we actually at Sarah have been doing our best to raise funds for him to be able to do just that. I actually had, what's the name of this organization? It'll come to me. I had 250 pad kits. It had the inserts, it had the pads, it had a bar of soap, it had 2 napkins, it had a couple of pair of underpants, and in a plastic Ziploc baggie, in a discreet handmade bag, so the girls could carry them and go back and forth to the bathroom comfortably and safely and secure and discreetly. 250 of them. I had like 4 or 5 huge boxes in my garage. I couldn't get them to Malawi, so they ended up going to India, because somebody was going to India. I tried for probably 8-9 months to find a way to get them there, and it would cost like $15,000 or some stupid amount of money. So but I cannot say enough. It's so important, because these girls, they miss like what equates to a month or 2 of school, and to the point where they have to drop out, which puts them right into the system of early childhood marriage. They're vulnerable now. They're getting sold. It's a horrible, and of course they're not getting educated, right? I mean, that's the worst of all. They're not getting educated. Well, it's just as bad as it all, because they're not getting educated as well. So how do we stop the violence? Get them that. So thank you, David, for that. That's really important. And Michelina, and then Maureen.
Thank you. I was just thinking of an idea when you had mentioned about the bracelet with a little heart symbol for Sarah, and I thought of David too as well, or anybody else. That's something that I think might be a good idea as a fundraiser for Sarah, like for some place like maybe David or anybody else to create this bracelet with the Sarah, and we could use it for a fundraiser. I know that in Nicaragua, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but I wear this a lot. This was something that was created there in Nicaragua, and then for a period of time, we sold it for a fundraiser. So I think it would be great to have a Sarah bracelet and do it as a fundraiser and put it out there for anybody, even the Red Tent facilitators. Again, it would be great for fundraiser. I just thought,
what a brilliant idea. Yeah, years and years ago, Laura had a group of children in India make these little pin hearts that were little pillows. They were just little, and they have a Sarah heart on them. Yeah, David, what do you think that you can present that to them and see if they'd be willing to do it? And I can send funds for a small amount, and we can do a little test if they can make maybe, I don't know, 10 or 20 of them, if it would be worth yeah.
Yes, certainly. I was actually just about to drop on the chat to Michelina and Maureen that is quite a very brilliant and incredible idea for Sarah. Yeah, and I was just in my mind, having been in project management for several years, when Sandy was taking us through the Sarah leadership structure, my mind was back and forth in the fundraising and networking, because that is really very key, even for Sarah to go, global in a big way and, collaborate and partner in a big way. So this is one of the many brilliant ideas that we could use. Yes, and yes, Sandy, yeah, this is something that I'm sure our women, not only for even issues about, income or anything. Remember the 3 circles we have started, the women have embraced Sarah in a big way. So they'll be just outpouring with love to make these things. So we would be really glad to begin somewhere and see what they can make. Yeah, certainly.
Brilliant. And it came out of the brilliant minds of Michelina and Maureen. They caught the same download at once. So it must be good. And it is, of course, good. So brava, thank you so much, guys. And Maureen put it in the chat. I just saw that. So yay. Maureen, is there more you wanted to say?
Yeah, that was the beginning. And it was funny because Michelina was having the idea and she said she wanted to say something and I'm typing it in the chat. So we were like on the same wavelength.
Totally.
And it was occurring to me, like, this is 2 examples of what they do for the women in Nepal.
Come closer.
The women in Nepal, and they make different designs. And I thought we could commission a Sarah design with the colors and have the heart on it. But then we don't have to limit it to just bracelets. We could see how that goes, but we could do other things, like even on bags or whatever, and do the other regular bags that they like to make, but make Sarah products. But it just started with the bracelet and it just was like, it's exploding in there. So I wanted to put that out there because I'm really excited about this idea, because we would be helping the women rise above their circumstances, support their families, support themselves, be independent, all of the different wonderful things that we, I know I want to support. That's why I have a couple of the ones from Nepal, because it's to help the women in Nepal for the same reason. And I know that we could market them in all kinds of exciting ways once we get that established. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Mats, tablecloths, and other items. Yeah, the beaded mats or beaded. I would love to have a set of placemats. I have a round table. I would like some round placemats. But why don't we start with the bracelets? Let's start small. Find out how much we can send to have so many bracelets made. And we'll include mailing, postage, and we'll put those out, and we'll see. That'll give us an idea of how long it'll take to get them. That'll be a little proof of concept, how well they're received. And what we'll do is the ones that we buy will be sent to our ambassadors here as our gift to them. So we'll be the first models. We'll just saunter around like models that we are. All right. We'll make sure we always have our wrist in Zoom view. I love that idea. I'm so excited, David. What we will do with the images, and David, David will tell you, I received these maybe a month ago. And thank you, Michelina, for showing us that beautiful necklace. Yeah, I believe I've seen you wear that before. That I received these bags a while back. I just don't have the capacity to manage like getting up a marketplace and all of that. This is different though. So what we'll do is these will go on our donate page, right? And let's see how the bags go. It'll be much easier to move bracelets and more affordable than it would maybe a bag. My daughter-in-law has already said that she wanted to buy a bag. I'm going to give it to her as her birthday present. But, you know, so, and I could actually send those funds now, David. So we don't need to wait for them all to go. But any rate, but the bags are, I think they're the bags, the purses are $50. And the basket, the little tray baskets, the little yellow ones I showed you, I believe they're 20, or I believe they're 20. Forgive me, I don't have those. I'm not at home. I have them sitting, the price sitting on my desk. And the maybe 20 to 35. And then there's a smaller bag, which I don't have a picture of, is 35. So, and I'm not a photographer. I took those on my kitchen table. Yeah.
Does that include postage, or is there the extra shipping would be?
Yeah, I've got to take them to the post office and see how much they cost to ship. So that would be a really great committee for somebody to take that on and be responsible for that. You know, if all you need to do is go to the post office once and get a whole bunch, and you know, you don't put out any money, that money would come to you. But pardon me, but put just get a bunch of prepaid boxes, fill them up, stick them in the mail when appropriate. So it's sort of that sort of thing. It does take that sort of labor, or I can do it as long as I get support filling up on the other end. I don't mind. I get joy out of that. It's just, like I said, there's just too much right now. I need that operations committee filled up first to take a lot of that load off. Exciting stuff. Okay, good. Now I have something more exciting to share with you. And I think you might be ready for this. I got to bring it up because I have since closed it to show you those other pictures. Okay, here we go.
Sandy, real quick, I just wanted to mention, because what we mentioned about Misa being maybe interested in that other aspect.
Yeah.
She sent me right after the General Congress of Women, she sent me a thank you email for introducing her and connecting her with you and with the women of, you know, Sarah and everything. So I have a feeling she'd be open to that. I just wanted to mention that. She was so blessed and touched with her experience that she sent me a thank you for introducing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, if you haven't yet seen, if you weren't able to be there on the call with us where Misa guided us into a meditation, it was a really unique call that was intended for nothing but you to receive in her healing, her sound, and grandmother's wisdom. And so if you haven't gotten that yet, the video recording is on our website. Is it? It was sent in a newsletter. If it's not there, it'll be there. I have to check that out. Fast forward through what you can see is me talking. Fast forward through anything until you get to Misa. And then hold on, relax, sit down, take a breath, and enjoy the rest of it. Fast forward through all us talking when you hear grandmother Mona. Fast forward through us talking till you get back to Misa. It's really an amazing, if that's all you do on that call, that's good. You know the rest of the stuff. So now Sarah, in the position she is in, and based on her email, it did not sound like she would mind if we recreated those words that the Sarah Ambassador Proclamation was written on. And I wanted to share with you, and believe I put this in an email, that the leadership, the advisory council felt that our mission and our vision really was a true vision and mission. Technically it was, the vision is what you can put on a t-shirt and read and just capture everything you are in one sentence. And a mission is how you're going to accomplish that vision. So technically that's the mission and mission. So calling this that wouldn't be appropriate, but what it is a proclamation. And it's a proclamation that and I'm so glad we've had this meeting, because I'm going to add it to the leadership requirements. Not only do we want everybody to think in terms of being an ambassador who may not be officially an ambassador, but to embrace the proclamation that is officially owned and honored by, it's in honor of the ambassadors who created it. So here it is. And they wanted to see some Sarah branding, and I thought this is a nice way of doing it. Let me view it. Let me enter full screen. There we go. How's that? You like it, Marina? Looks like she's doing cartwheels. Good. Everybody good with it? Yeah, so yeah. Anybody want to see something? Oh, there is something that I couldn't do. And if you want to see it, I'm actually going to try this before I finally put this out. I'll probably do it today. Is one of the things I really loved about what we did when we finalized this was highlighted where we show up, we give, we invite, we light pathways. We invite and welcome, we give voice, we show up. I love the fact that we highlighted those almost as their own vision statement. But when I'm making this in Poster My Wall, which is the name of the platform, the art word I use, it's like Canva. It's not Canva, it's Poster My Wall. If I change one thing, it changes everything. So I can't just highlight one word or make it a different color or a different font or italicizes. I can't, so I'm going to go over to Canva and see if I could do it there. And if I can't, this is what we got, because I tried to pull it out and pop in, just like cut and paste, and it doesn't line up. It doesn't work. So I hope the worst case scenario is what you're looking at. And Maureen seems pleased. Everybody okay? Anybody have any objection? Oh, Maureen, Michelina. Oh, you're muted. You're muted here. Do you see it?
Okay. First of all, this looks beautiful. I love this. This is just so on key.
I see a goof.
I saw that. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. The word partnership, is that spelled right?
And neither is diversity. Partnerships. Nope. Yay. Okay, good.
You put it out because it looks so beautiful.
No. And also diversity of expressions to invite. Yeah, I had to retype this. You can't even cut and paste. And I thought, oh, that's awesome. I don't have any spelling errors because it didn't highlight any, but apparently it doesn't catch them. We invite and welcome all to join. Okay.
And sometimes when you type it in, it takes over for you. When you type things in, sometimes it types it over. So
it's just me being messy. Here's the joy and accelerate is misspelled. Accelerate. Realities is misspelled. Oh, I'm going to get a big D- on this if I were turning this into my teacher. I wasn't even sure if you guys were going to like it, so I wasn't too worried about completing it, but I should have gotten this much right. Okay, cool. All right. So yay, I'm going to fix that. Yeah, Maureen.
I just want to say when Sarah first was working on this is what I saw in my head.
Oh, yeah.
When she was sending out different images and stuff like that, I loved what she showed and I loved the picture. But what I kept seeing in my head was this.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. There you have it. And one thing I love about that image, and I don't know if you guys have ever really, because you're all new to Sarah, but prior to the art, this artwork came out of a full-on piece that was Sarah. And I'll send you the original artwork that was our art for, up to last year. Was our art probably about 10 years in. We first started with this Heart in Action, which I found on Google when we first started. I Googled, which was nothing. Google was so archaic back in 2002. If it even was Google then, I don't know, but it might have been something else, but it was dial up. I remember that. And I looked for a heart in action, because that's to me what Sarah was back then in 2002 anyway. And I found this heart with the lines coming off of it. I have since seen that image printed on little mugs in tourist places. It's free artwork. But when Robin came to us and said, I want to do your artwork. Robin Altman is this, well, she's moved now, but she's a very famous artist, and her paintings are all over this art colony, which is very close to where I used to live. She used to do their the signs for their posts, their light posts. I mean, she was really like well-known superstar, major commissions, on her work. And she was a Sarah sister, and she loved us. And I said, I think we need our own artwork, because we wanted to be able to give out certificates. And I had received a certificate of acknowledgement from an organization that had their beautiful artwork all around the body of the paper. And I'm like, we need that. And I called up Robin and I said, would you like to do some artwork for Sarah? We'll pay for it. And she says, I've got this. I go, there's only one piece that I would like to commission, and that would be, we have to keep this heart, and if you can do a woman holding up a heart, and that is the hands, part of her hands, the woman's holding it up, and there's women doing all kinds of things across the top. There's a woman in a sailboat on a sea with all the images of our faith traditions in the water. And that was because we used to always say, it feels as though God is blowing in our sails. We used to always say that. So she did a sailboat, and the girl, and then there's a picture you might have seen of a woman holding earth, just looking at with, her toes curled up, and then love, holding, like she's holding her precious child. So I'm getting skin goosebumps. But it became time for new branding. And I said, okay, once again, we can't lose that heart. So that heart has been with us from the very beginning in one capacity or in another, but that's the actual heart that Robin painted. We just carved it out. And by the way, I want to also say, and Maureen, then hear from you, if you see, the two hands are different colors. And Anne said, we need to represent all women. And so my daughter-in-law, soon to be daughter-in-law, had that done for us. So, because Robin's since moved on. So, all right, I'm complete. But a little history on our heart of Sarah. Maureen, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was just curious, when you did the design, right? Did you intentionally have it more blurred, or did you want it more defined with the words of are you able to get it like slightly more defined?
Let's look at it and you can tell me what
you know what I'm saying?
So
So you can see the hands a little clearer.
Where to go? You could see it. I can't see it here. I'm going to lower all this other stuff. You can see the heart. You can see the image now?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was showing. Was I showing you my screen top? My messy
It was
screen?
just black. And it said you were screen sharing, but there was no image. Oh, here it is. Yeah, see how it's kind of like blurred in the background, and you really can't tell that those are hands? Like if it was a little sharper, you'd be able to see the hands a little bit more clearer and the heart a little less blurry.
I can try, but because it's a water painting.
Right.
I mean, watercolors, it's water paint. I can actually even try right now because I have that program open on my website, on the site here.
I mean, it looks absolutely great the way it is. I'm just thinking that we know what the hands are, but somebody may not realize that's what they are because they're blurred.
Let me just see. I'll tell you right this minute. Let me get the background here. So I'm actually on brightness. Yeah, I can. It'll make it real dark in the background though. I'm going to show you an example just because, well, no, I'll bring it up. I'm going to show you and you guys can make the decision. That's what I just love, love, love about this community is you are all part of the process. So let's just do this together right now. And then I think we're getting pretty close to closing unless I'm forgetting something. Here we go. All righty, let's try this. Whoops. Now you're going to see how the sausage is made. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you can see it's already, let's see, brightness. Like that. See, it's too dark. Is that a little better? It's too dark, huh?
No, I like it like that personally. I don't know about anybody else, but now I could see the hands a little bit more
How's
without it being too dark. Yeah, right
that
there.
good?
I think. Yeah. What does everybody else think?
Yeah. All right. And so it is. I'm going to leave this open because I'm going to come in and fix all of that. See how we get stuff, how we roll. All right. I'll come in and change yeah, that does look better. And when I trim this, I trim off these corners. So you're getting the whole thing. All right. And now you've seen what's in the cupboard. Sarah headquarters. All righty. Wow. I love, love, love it. This is so great. I mean, think about what was birthed here. The Sarah bracelets, right? You helped define leadership in some subtle ways that are very profound. Okay. And our artwork. And I wasn't going to put it out until number one, I spell checked it, which, yay, thank you for pointing that out, Michelina. And also without getting your blessing. And I'm so glad we're good with it now that the artwork is perfect. Yeah. We've accomplished everything on our agenda. Is there anything else that wants to be said? Anyone else that has any? Let me just make sure. Oh, I did have one more thing. The hot seat update, just so that doesn't go unaddressed. Oh, and bubble bath for the soul. These are really quick. So nothing on the hot seat update. I'm really waiting on Shannon because, and also Bernadette. So I need to be a little bit more, I know Bernadette probably is so busy, but she did offer to come and do a little workshop for us. So I'm going to press on her on that, a little press lovingly.
Sometimes needs to be reminded because she gets caught up and loses track. So
Okay.
don't be shy.
I won't be shy. And then thank you. And then also the bubble bath for the soul. So I would love to ask if anybody here would like to lead a bubble bath for the soul and do something like a moon, a full moon or a new moon. I'm not saying who, I don't know, but if anybody might want to do something like that, you know, perhaps Pleasance will come in and do some kind of death doula, anything soothing for the soul, anything, well, not anything, but good stuff that's, Laura Saw can come and do a Ho'oponopono. Yeah, so just to get you, yeah, Maureen.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was stirring when you were going through that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to help help. I don't know if I want to say chair that because I'm a little afraid to commit to that but right now, but
Yeah.
I wanted to, and of course, Nancy, I'm hoping you'll say yes to doing something on the moon for that. But I was thinking like every month we could have like a different theme. And I would like to do one of those. I don't know what my theme would be yet. And I don't mind helping. I don't want to take full responsibility for chairing it yet, but it's stirring in there and it won't let me go. to help organize with that.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's good. It's necessary. Yeah, Nancy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that was the whole healing and women and the bubble bath stuff. I mean, I would absolutely love it. I have for myself doing Reiki. I'm a Reiki master teacher. Being able to do some things like that. I do a lot of chakra scanning, really relaxing stuff. But I also have a bunch of friends who do, who are just, they're beautiful. They do light language. They do, you know, the singing bowl. So I would love to be part of that committee and also be able to participate in some things as well. So, yeah.
I'm going to be calling a committee meeting soon because it's time for a bubble bath. Sorry.
A good time for a bubble bath.
Always. Yay. Okay. And thank you for, you know, that's exciting. Singing bowls. Yes. And it translates on Zoom. It really does. Also, you know, we could, you know, I've got ideas, but there's Jerry Littlejohn who can come in and do some flute healing. I mean, I mean, you know, she's so great about that. So yeah. Lots of juicy stuff that's getting birthed here, and these new sprouts are popping up. It's really exciting. So here we are, somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours, and I'm just so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you all. I can't tell you, I'm just, talk about cartwheels. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you. David, I can't wait to hear back from you on the bracelets. And I'll be putting it out to everybody when everything is complete, like the page for the donations. If you can help us spread it, that would be great. Help us. Oh, and David, if you can do some kind of a write-up for me so I can better explain. It doesn't have to be, as a matter of fact, the more digestible it is, the better. So digestible, I mean short and sweet. And that would be really helpful, because people may not read a big long paragraph, but you want to capture their imagination and their heart right away, and where the money is going to go. So that would be great. And then
Sure, Sandy, I'll do that.
And would you also write up something about the baby center? We don't have time now, because I do have an 11 o'clock call, which is in 10 minutes. But I would love for us to hear more about the baby center, or maybe wait for the next call, whatever you like.
I'll share a brief with you,
Okay.
because I have now the complete write-up, but for now, I will share a brief with you.
Okay, great. Right now, or in writing? Okay, in writing then.
In writing,
Okay.
Sandy.
Oh, okay, good. All righty.
Just one quick question, Sandy, really quick. Is there anything more going on about the circle facilitating for the women's
Alchemy? Not yet, but there will be.
Okay.
Anne and I are meeting, and we're going to start revving our engines. So alchemy we don't really need so much of a committee around alchemy, because we've done it so many times. We've already got it all worked out, but we definitely need support around that. And that's what our facilitators can help with. So I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be in on that too.
Yeah. It's good. You don't want to miss that. That'll be the alchemy event. It's going to be really special. Well, we've never really done one online, but we know stuff translates. Water ceremony translates. Indigenous voices. We already have Grandmother Flor de Mayo and Grandmother Jody. Two heavy hitters, if there's such a thing in the Indigenous grandmother's world. I mean, you don't get more grandmother than that. Their great grandmother Mary Lyons is getting invited to join us as well. And she's supportive of Sarah, and we're actually inviting her onto that Global Council of Wisdom. So yeah, good stuff. So stay tuned. Lots of good stuff birth in here. You guys are the best. I'm so lucky. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your evening. David, thanks. Judy, we're so blessed to have been able to see her and say hello and hear her voice. And so glad she's doing so much better. And Sarah, we can't wait to see this little bundle of love. We just can't wait. I can speak for all of us when we're, yeah. Okay, have a beautiful night, day. Bye, you guys.
Love to you all. Bye.
You too. Bye.